Welcome to this week's episode of the Savvy Flipper Show. I am your host and business strategist, Clara Rose, and this is Larry Vanderhoof, our resident expert and construction manager.
Good afternoon.
Hello, hello. Are we ready?
We are.
Okay, so today, before we get started, we're going to talk about your flipping team, the people that you're going to need to be a successful flipper. Right?
Correct.
So I want to just quickly talk before we talk about that. In your 30 plus years in the construction.
You can.
He's super young when he started, of course, and is in your 30 plus years in construction and construction managing. Over time, you've built lots of teams, haven't you? Support teams.
Yes, I have. It's always wise to surround yourself with people who know more than you do about a particular subject.
Yes, absolutely. So while he's brilliant in the field and brilliant with the estimating and the inspecting and all those pieces, there are other pieces that aren't in his wheelhouse or in my wheelhouse. And so we surround ourselves with people that make it possible for us to look brilliant in all aspects of our businesses.
Correct.
Right? And so today we're going to talk about you building your flipping team, the people that you're going to need to be successful as a real estate investor, as a flipper.
Correct.
A savvy flipper. Okay, so let's hop into the list of people and what they do for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so this first one is going to seem like a no-brainer. If I can pull up my slide there. Realtor. What in the world could we possibly need a realtor from? Because we're not buying off the MLS.
Right. Well, as a flipper, especially people who are new into it, they don't realize the value sometimes of a real estate agent. They look at it as a real estate agent as that person that's going to either sell your house for you, or maybe it's a real estate agent that has a house that you're looking at. But there's so much more to the real estate agent that they can help you with. They can actually help you find houses because they're out there every day. That's their job. That's what they do. The other thing that a real estate agent can help you with is they're really familiar with a particular area that maybe you're looking in. Maybe you found that house, and they're really familiar with the surrounding areas, and they can tell you what you should do, or at least give you ideas as to what to do in that house. Whether it's, again, getting back to changing out cabinets, or maybe nobody in that area is doing granite countertops, so you don't have to worry about it. This is all information that a good real estate agent can share with you and help you in the process of the remodel.
Making decisions, sure. And then, of course, when you're done flipping, now you've got a relationship with a real estate agent who can actually help you sell it because they know the industry, right?
Right. Yeah, and most real estate agents are usually getting anywhere from a 5 to 7% kickback on the sale. But if you build a relationship with the right real estate agent and they know that you're in this for the long haul, you're not just a one and done type of a flipper, then they'll work with you on their commissions as well. So,
yep, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So having a few really amazing real estate friendly realtors in your pocket is a good thing.
Yep. Ones that are used to working with people who do real estate investing.
Flipping.
Right.
Okay, yep. Super important people and totally outside of our wheelhouse, so we definitely need them. And so do you. Okay, a title company.
Title companies are extremely valuable in that they're going to handle all of that paperwork that, again, it gets back into somebody else's wheelhouse. It's not mine. It's probably not yours.
Not mine.
But it is theirs. They're going to be the ones that are going to help you, with investment property, the closings, the paperworks, yep, the title checks and things like that. So making sure that the titles to the homes are clean and clear, and so that there's no misstep along the way.
Surprises.
Right.
Surprises.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. So
nothing worse than getting excited about a house and then find out that there's some kind of a black mark on the title.
Yeah, a problem. Yeah. Or the person that you have the contract with doesn't actually even own it.
Right.
That's bad too.
Yeah.
Right.
And that happens.
Yes, that's your title company. And a good investor-friendly title company knows you're going to keep bringing work their way and is going to work with you to make it easy.
Yep.
So, okay, those seem like really important people to me. Okay, now a CPA and an accountant or an accountant. What are those fine folks going to do for you?
Well, they're going to help you when it comes to anytime you're doing any type of investments, there's always the tax ramifications.
Oh, yes.
We
true
love the
story.
tax man. They're going to help you not figure out loopholes necessarily, but they're going to show you techniques that you can use to lower those taxes. They're going to teach you what items can be used as write-offs on that investment. They're going to tell you what you can expect to pay after you sell the house when the flip is done and things like that. So they are very, very
Super
valuable to your,
Super important people.
Yeah, and you're going to have to, all of these people that we're talking about today, obviously they don't do this for free. So there is going to be some fees and some payments that you're going to have to make to them. But compared to what they could potentially save you in the long run,
Yep.
it's pennies. So don't shortcut yourself. Do the right thing and get the right people in place.
Yep, pay those people well. Yep. So those people that help you take care of the financial piece of it, they're really important people.
Right. Yeah.
Right? They are worth the money, I promise you. And I actually have a friend who is a CPA. She gets so excited when she gets to go to tax convention. She's like super excited because, oh man, we're going to learn about this and we're going to learn about that. And as she's talking about it, I'm glazing over thinking, Lord have mercy, thank you that I don't have to know any of that stuff.
Well, we have to have those people that are a little touched that way.
That's right. She loves it. And I love that she loves it because that means I don't have to know it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I just need her.
Yep.
That's part of your flipping team right there.
Yep.
Okay. Real estate attorney. So an attorney who specializes in real estate. What are they going to do?
You bet. These are the guys that have the potential to save you probably the most money. Anytime you're dealing in real estate, there are so many legalities that have to be followed, and not to mention sometimes you hate to admit it, but sometimes you run into issues with people working on the property, or maybe it's the house itself and whatnot, where you need legal advice. So it's extremely handy to have an attorney on your team that you can consult with at the drop of a hat, where you can pick up the phone and call him and say, hey, what about this? What about that? What do I do here? Again, it's one of the people on your team that you hope you never have to necessarily use, but they're good to have in your pocket.
If you need, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course in the beginning, when you're first starting out, you need good contracts and those kinds of things, and those are the people
Sure.
that are going to help you get
Yeah.
those contracts together.
And a lot of new flippers, they will go online and they'll find their own contracts and maybe one that somebody else has used. But I can't stress it enough. Always, always, always have your contracts read over through by an attorney, a real estate attorney who can go through there and say, well, we need to add this, or this doesn't need to be in there, so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
cover all
Important
your
people.
bases.
Yep. And just having that relationship with them so that you can pick it up, like ours, we
Right.
could pick them up, a phone call. Hey, John, right? And it's
Yep.
just, yeah, super important. Okay. All right, let's move on to contractors and subcontractors. Now, these people, of course, may come and go, but the ideal is to find ones that are going to work with you long term.
Right, and this is actually a subject that's obviously near and dear to my heart for a couple of different reasons. It was, as Clara had mentioned, I did for 30 plus years. Sometimes contractors get a bad rap, so my advice to you is to really do your research and vet these different contractors out. Sit down with them for 35, 45 minutes and just get to know them, kind of get a feel for them. And if you get that little steel voice in your head that says, you know what, this may not be the guy for me, regardless of what his bid might be, you might want to keep looking.
Check your gut.
Yeah. Not all contractors are shysters.
Right? You weren't a
but-
shyster.
Right, but the industry has kind of developed that type of mentality that, contractors, you got to be careful with them. And you do. You want to make sure that they're licensed. You want to make sure that they're insured. You want to make sure that they're legal to work in the industry that you are hiring them for. So you just need to make sure that you take care of the
Business.
do's and don'ts.
Yeah, take care of business. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more when I talk about vetting, because all of these people need to be vetted.
Yeah.
I made that one up.
Vetted? Is
I
that
made
a
that
real
word up. Yeah, vetted for sure. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about private and hard money lenders. Boy, we really do need those in this industry as a
Right.
flipper.
Right. You do, because your typical financing through a bank or something, banks are, it's rare to get a bank to lend money on a house that's being flipped, a house that's being renovated and then resold. That's a tough road to go down. So hard money lenders, private money lenders are very, very common in the industry for flipping houses. Most people consider, well, the hard money, their interest rates are so high and this, that, and the other. But if you're in and out of a project, what you have to pay to use their money is absolutely worth it. Goes back to staying on top of your project, making sure things are smooth and whatnot.
Timely.
You don't have any hiccups and whatnot. But if it runs smoothly, what you have to pay to use their money to get this project done so that you can make a profit is well worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you look at those rates that you might get, a 13, 14, 15% interest for private or hard money, you think, yikes, that's really high, but it's not if you're done in 3 or 4 months and you're out of there.
Or sooner, depending on the flip.
Right, or sooner. Now, you would never want that for your mortgage on your primary residence, right? Or your car or anything.
Yeah.
But quick money like that, they make good money. You're going to make good money too. It's well worth paying. And that's what you're going to look at paying. Now, once you develop a long-term relationship with them, they're going to give you better points and better interest rate
Better
for
rates.
sure.
Absolutely.
So build those relationships. Okay. Cleaning services. This is something that you might not think of as a flipper, but unless you want to be the cleaner, Clara does not.
Well, cleaning services are extremely important, again, because you don't want to be the one in there wiping down counters. Let's face it, anytime you're doing a remodel of any sort, you're going to create dust. It's going to get everywhere. And so you need a good cleaning team that you can have come in there. And again, this is going to be a team that you work with on an ongoing basis, providing you stay in the industry long enough where you can develop a relationship with it. Anytime you build a relationship with any profession, I don't care which one it is, the more you do with them, the better rates you're going to get on their services. And it's no different with cleaning services. They're going to come in, they're going to wipe down all your baseboards, all your countertops, the tops of the cabinets, the insides of the cabinets, all that kind of stuff, and get the house ready to show.
Yeah, because you don't want somebody walking in, a potential buyer walking in and opening a cupboard and sticking their nose down in the cupboard and having construction debris.
Right.
Right. This is what they do for you.
And I've been there. That's what the whole walkthrough, the initial walkthrough is for, is to find these things. Sometimes we did a walkthrough prior to having the space cleaned, and then we would do a walkthrough after the space had been cleaned, just to make sure that we got every single thing looked after.
Because they will find it. If there's dirt or dust, they will find it. If there's a cobweb, they're going to find it.
Yeah.
And you can't help but there to be dust and debris everywhere. So it's the nature of the beast. Okay, and finally, staging. Now, some people get into flipping thinking, ooh, I can't wait to stage this property, especially if you're like me. I love that piece. But staging also includes all the work, doesn't it?
Staging is manual labor. You're carrying furniture in and out of these houses. On top of that, if you're planning on doing this for long term, you're going to want to have all of your own furniture, your own pictures, your own lamps, your own throw rugs, anything and everything, bookshelves, books, all of that kind of stuff that it takes to stage a house properly. You're going to want to have that stuff on hand at all times. depending on how aggressive you get into flipping, you may have to have a couple of sets of all of this stuff. Rent yourself a storage unit. Spend $100 a month, rent yourself a storage unit, keep all of that stuff in there until you need it, and you can either hire somebody to stage your house for you, or you can hire a company that actually already has all this stuff that you don't have to purchase and buy. They'll come and stage it for you, set it all up, and when it's ready to sell, they come back in, take their stuff, and they go away. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. So that's really up to you.
You have to decide
how much work you want to do.
What you want to do. So, if you if it's worth $1,000 to have some company come in and stage it for you, but you don't have to do any of the work, then spend the $1,000. If you think, I want that $1,000 in my pocket, well, now you get to be the one who gets the moving truck, or if you might have a truck already, get to the storage unit, everything is loaded in the truck, everything goes to the house, everything gets unloaded, and then the work of staging actually begins. Right? Pictures hung on the walls, books on bookshelves, making it look like a beautiful place where people live. Watch a couple of the flipping shows on TV, and look at all of how beautiful it is. Somebody did all of that. Do you want to be that person?
It wasn't the person behind the camera.
Wasn't the person, probably.
However, with that said, there are some people out there who they just love to do that kind of stuff. They love to make everything pretty and fancy, and not mentioning any names, but
is he pointing a finger?
That kind of stuff is what they like to do. So if that's you, then by all means have at it. But just know that time is money.
Yes, time is money. Yeah. So I do love those things, but I also don't love, I'm not going to be the mover, right? So somebody needs to bring it in and set it up, and then I'll make it pretty. So just decide what works well for you. That's the truth of the matter right there. So these are all people on your flipping team that are super important. One that we haven't really talked about, but you might want to just touch on is insurance agents.
Absolutely. Insurance agents is another person you want to have on your team. As soon as you purchase that house, you got to get insurance on that house, because you want to protect your investment at all times. And finding the right insurance agents they're going to know, okay, so we're only going to have this house covered for so long. And so your rates are going to be different than as if you were moving into the house and living there long term and whatnot. So find yourself a good insurance company, a good insurance agent, sit down with them, tell them exactly what you're doing. With each individual house that you may be working on, so that they can kind of say, okay, so with this particular house, this is kind of what we want to have for coverage. And
but they can guide you through that process.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't need to know all about insurance. You just need to know a good insurance person that you trust that's going to take good care of you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let us move on to the tool of the week. Now, this week we don't have a cool guy tool. We have a tool that guys could use perhaps, but this right here looks like the little check thingy that you get when you eat out and they bring you your check, but it's not. It's actually a business card holder. It holds, so we can get the glare off of it, it holds a bunch of business cards. Now this is where you're going to want to keep, you can just get one at Office Depot or wherever. This is where you're going to want to keep cards of all of the people that we just talked about. Not only do you want to keep a card for yourself, you could put them, of course, in your cell phone so that they're easy access to dial them quickly, but this gives you an opportunity to carry extra cards with you so that when you're out and about, you can refer your magic people to other people, right? What professional doesn't love to get a referral? And when somebody refers you, don't you then feel like you owe them something? Not that that's the purpose behind doing it, but there's like the rule of reciprocity. You feel like, oh, they refer me. So then they're just going to be more aware as they're out in the world for an opportunity to refer you as well. So that's just a good business practice, right? Yep. This gives you all of the people you may have 3 or 4 or 5 different people in a specific category that you use, because not everyone's always available. Right? So that makes sense. So if you have them all in your little book here, it's just a little plastic holder. And guess what? This is also a really great place to keep extra business cards of your own. So that's like networking 101, right? Is you should always have plenty of your own business cards with you. And I can't even tell you how many times I've run into people where I've asked for a business card. They're like, oh, hold on. Digging through stuff. Oh, I think I'm out. Like, that will never happen if you always have a well-stocked card
Right.
holder, business card
and
holder.
you might think of that as old school. Oh, look at
It's
that.
a little old
Look at that, trying to get us to use old school technology
is
and
old
whatnot. But it's extremely valuable. Sometimes
It is old school.
Well, it might be old school, but I would much rather use this and try to surf through my phone, finding phone numbers and that kind of thing. I'm not that technology type
You're
dude.
not that savvy person.
This thing can turn out to be your best friend.
This is a great tool.
Yeah.
So yes, my phone numbers are all in my phone as well, but this has other uses, right? So it's beyond just somebody's phone number. This is my ability to refer somebody. This is my ability to collect information when I meet a new person. Like, oh, you do flooring? Can I have your card? Because you don't know the next time you're going to need, your flooring dude isn't available, right? So you're starting to look for, man, I need a flooring dude fast.
Yep,
right?
Get that card, slide it in there, and then you can transfer it to your electronic devices at some other point.
Yeah, once they become someone you use repeatedly, absolutely they go in the phone, for sure. But until they do, or even after they do, this is a great resource. So that's the tool of the week for you there. Not an exciting tool, but a tool nonetheless that you need. Okay, and before we run out of time today, I want to talk about business savvy stuff because you know that's my jam. I'm the business savvy queen, and I want to talk about vetting your team. Larry touched on it briefly a few minutes ago when he was talking about contractors, but the importance of vetting these people. These are people who if you don't already know them, you don't already have a relationship with them in your community, you need to check them out. You need to check their business license for whatever they do to make sure that they're licensed. If they're a contractor, you're looking for their bond, right? Are they bonded and insured?
Correct.
If they are not, boy, you
Just
probably
walk away.
walk away, walk away. Because if something goes sideways or goes awry, you have no recourse.
Yeah.
So that's super important for that. And then all of the other individuals, the real estate attorney, the hard money, private money lenders, cleaning crews, all of those people are all businesses. So make sure that they are adequately licensed, bonded if it's necessary,
Get referrals.
and then ask for referrals.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And then when you get the referrals, call them.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's one of the things that I hear over and over. Well, yeah, I got referrals, but I really didn't call
Got
them.
references,
well,
but
then
I
what's
didn't
the
call
point?
them. Right.
So,
Yeah. So call. Actually have a conversation with somebody a reference that they give you.
Right.
To say, hey, I'm thinking of using this realtor. How did that go? Or check, hey, I'm thinking about using this title company for all of my flips. What was your experience with that title company?
Right.
Just have some conversations.
Yep.
And then when you find somebody that you know in the industry and that you're like, trust, ask them, hey, who are you using for your title company? Who are you using for your real estate attorney? Not all
Right.
attorneys do real estate.
Right.
Right?
No, you want to find a real estate specific attorney. And maybe if you know somebody who's in the industry of flipping homes, real estate investing, and they've just completed a house, hey, who did you use as
Yeah.
your contractor?
Yeah.
Did you like him? Did they do a good job? Did they show up when they said they were going to? Did they clean up their mess afterwards? So on
Ooh,
and so
that's a
forth.
pet peeve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, not all real estate investors will share freely. I have a friend who's a real estate investor, and she says, I'll share everything with you about my contractor. I'm not even going to tell you his name. And but they flip a lot of houses, and they keep their contractors busy. They roll from one project to the next with them, and so they don't want to share that information. But there's lots of people out there willing to share in the industry.
Well, and there's lots of contractors out there. You can
Sure.
step out your front door and throw a rock and hit one. So they're pretty easy to find. You just make sure that you do your due diligence.
Yep. check them out. And then, of course, as you build your team over time, and Larry mentioned already, you're going to get better and better pricing, right? So that real estate agent, may start out taking the 6%, may take 3%. I've heard of real estate agents taking 2% on the sale. So just know that as time goes on, because here's what happens. You are feeding them,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
Right? They don't
Yep.
have to spend marketing dollars to go find that next job.
Right.
Right? If they know, hey, you know what? Larry and Clara are going to send me a cleaning every month, or they're going to send me, every other month, they're going to send me
A house.
a house, right, to sell, or they're going to close every other month or every third month or twice a month, whatever it is. The more business you do with them and you feed them,
Yep.
the better the rates and the better the service that you're going to get. Relationship,
Yep.
relationship,
Yep.
relationship.
Take advantage of that real estate agent. They're so valuable because they're in the community all the time. They know sometimes they stumble across great projects, and
Yep.
if you've got them on your list, then maybe they're going to share that with you.
Yeah. If you have been treating them well, then they're going to treat you well.
Right.
So even though their goal as a real estate agent is to get that deal, right, get that person to list the house with them, not every house is a good fit for them.
Right.
So you want their eyeballs seeing a deal and thinking, oh, you know what, this is a great deal for my friends who flip real estate, do some real estate investing, and when the project is over, I know they're going to use me to sell it anyway.
Right.
So it's a
Right.
win-win for everybody. Okay, that's it for today, but I want to remind you, if you are a brand newbie real estate investor and you're looking for some more help on either your inspection prior to making your offer, your estimating so that you can do better negotiating, you're estimating for renovations, or your project management after you have that deal, keeping those numbers, keeping those profits in your pocket,
Right.
then we have a place for you. You can hop over to beflippingsavvy.com and sign up for our next masterclass. We would love to see you there. It's totally free. We're going to give you all you need to know about being a savvy flipper. And if you're interested, of course, we'll give you an opportunity to be a part of the Flipping by the Numbers team. So we will see you next week, same time, same place. Thanks for joining us.